Hey everybody, welcome back to Dawncaster. We are playing the Monster Mash, which is a leftover weekly trial that I didn't get a chance to upload, that I'm making sure that you all get to hear me play. Monster Mash is a weekly trial. It's really fun. It involves the knight and it involves monster cards. And it is an incredibly powerful deck. And again, I hope more monster cards are featured in weekly trials. They are absolutely awesome. The developer for this game, Dawncaster, is Rick van der Wal, and he has just released Sense of This. So if you haven't had a chance to, go ahead and check out my unboxing of the entire talent build. Lots of talents. I talk about every single one, and I discuss how I'm going to use them. For today, we're going to take advantage of several of the brand new cards of Sense of This, and they are really fun. There are some really great cards. One of them kind of feels like a pot of greed if you played Yu-Gi-Oh before. It's a really good card. It's called the Visor, and it lets you draw a card and doesn't have any real penalties, and I really enjoy it. There's some Junkman Artificer kind of deck build that I've been wanting to show you all. I'll be showing that to you probably in the upcoming weeks. I'm actually hoping to kind of show you all the new builds, at least. This is part of my year-end roundup. I know you've heard me talk about this before, but yes, this is part of my year-end roundup. I am rounding up and playing all the games that I've played this year. I'm going to be playing all of them and talking about what I expect out of them in the future and where they'll fit into in my schedule. As far as Dawncaster, it's one of my TCG games or tactical card games. It'll always be on Thursday, though that doesn't mean that I'm ruling out any extra episodes, and I'm not even ruling out the fact that I might play it for a few hours. Again, this is a channel where we do what we want to do, and we have a lot of fun. So yes, sometimes I'll play a game for several hours, and sometimes I'll play it for, strictly 50 minutes to an hour and a half. It just depends on what my schedule looks like, and it depends on the popularity of the game. Of course, if you want to help control kind of how things happen on this channel, instead of being, like we do get people who get a little snarky, but the best way, the absolute best way to get me to do what you want is to like the video and please comment. I really don't care what you comment. Obviously, I prefer constructive feedback, but if you have like something you want to tell me, like, hey, I really want more of these videos, I respect that. I've had several people tell me they want me to get back to Asmar. I have several people that want me to get into some more audio games. I do have about 3 to 4 more games on my current list. I will get to those before the end of the year. So I've got like 2 months to get all the games in, and then I'm going to do my year-end review, and then I'm going to do my top 10. So yeah, I got a couple of really great episodes. A lot of my focus has been on Adventure to Fate Dungeons, so I do recognize that, and I'm very happy to do so. It is my main game that I focus on. Again, if you wanted to know, yes, Adventure to Fate, any of the games from Touchment are my main focus on this channel. Again, it has a lot to do with their accessibility. It has a lot to do with how their developer just communicates with me very openly and freely, and we have a really good collaborative, cooperative kind of relationship. But that doesn't mean I can't work that way with any developer. I certainly can, and I would love to. So if you'd like to reach out to me and work more closely together, let's just exchange numbers and we can be work pals. My email is gamedoubletap@gmail.com. GameDoubletap, all one word, at gmail, gmail.com, com. And please let me know what you want to do. You want me to promote your game? You want me to review it? You want to sponsor me, which is, by the way, very inexpensive. I don't charge much. It won't cost you a penny. And, it might cost you a penny, but I'm just saying, I don't charge much. And if you want me to feature or talk about something in one of your accessible games, I will do it. And yes, I haven't forgotten about you, Kieran. I am working on Rogue Keys. I'll get in touch with you. I've got a lot of cool games coming, including Rogue Keys. Excuse me. Rogue Keys. I think this one game. There's another game. I just can't remember the name of it. I've got some Ranger, that story game line. I've got a new game for that one. I have already dropped 2 or 3 games. DD Heroes. I reviewed Silent Archivist. I've done a couple of different games. Then, of course, I've done Adventure to Pay Dungeons, releasing in November 20th. But so, yes, I am here, and I'm going to continue to go through as many games as I can before the year ends. And again, we will do a year-end roundup where I'm playing all my favorite games of 2025. Of course, Dawncaster is one of my favorite games of 2025. So I think the playlist name will be Favorite Games of 2025. I'm not going to rate them. I'm not going to rate them because they're already fantastic. I don't need to rate Dawncaster. If you're not playing Dawncaster, you are missing out on just a massive undertaking by a developer to just make one of the best strategic card games that has ever existed. I'm kind of actually hoping more card game makers will update their games because it doesn't feel like anybody does but Rick. I've had several card games I love, but they never get updates. Just never get updates. I have one new card game that I'm actually hoping will get more. It's called, I think it's Rebirth. I'm actually hoping that game will get a little bit more clarity, a little bit more information, a little bit more instruction and tutorial. Again, some of these games are fantastic. How I play them doesn't necessarily mean, as I always tell you all, that they're accessible to you or will be accessible to you or are not accessible to you. Just take what I say with a grain of salt and understand I am doing my very best to explain games, teach you games, and do the best I can to make these games understandable. I'm also helping beginners who are new to these kind of games understand them. And of course, what you can do as a channel friend is in the comments, instead of getting snarky with me, you can let people know what they need to understand about the game and what important physical aspects of the game can be explained. A lot of you are really technically great at explaining games, so feel free to get in there. There are no spoilers with Dawncaster unless you haven't played it yet. If you haven't played the expansion, I don't want to spoil it for you, but this is a spoiler video. So please make sure you've checked out all the builds because this is going to spoil it for you because I'm going to be doing some of the new monster cards and they're awesome. Okay. Other things to talk about, we're going to continue to play Dawncaster in 2026. It has a weekly trial. The developer has remained steady Eddie and continued to release really great content upgrades. Again, synthesis is amazing. As I like the last couple of builds, I'm a bigger fan of new zones and new cards. But again, the invasions are fun too, but they're just crazy hard. But yeah, I am having a lot of fun with synthesis. It's amazing. Anyway, we're going to play for about maybe 30, 40 minutes, see how I feel like playing. I have a super powerful deck. This weekly trial is called Monster Mash. Again, it was released prior to Halloween. So yes, this is a Halloween episode for Dawncaster, but I didn't put any creepy music on because, you know, I could always do that. I'm going to try to be more up on games, but I fell behind a little bit last week because I wasn't feeling that hot. I was a little under the weather. And today I'm feeling a lot better. I've gotten a lot of my kind of stuff done. And yeah, there's just been a lot going on. I had a friend move away, and she was really cool. Misha M, hope to hang out with you soon. Yeah, me and Queen Angel are gonna come over, and we're gonna hang out with her and her dudes and have a good time. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. We're gonna all hang out, have some cocktails, have some Dawncaster cocktails, and definitely make sure that Shattered Realm stays safe under our tutelage. Have a little tavern crawl, you know. Yeah, it's been a really, really productive week, though I've not felt too hot this week either, but I'm doing better. I'm doing much better. I'm doing better. I'm getting better. Again, I've had to do a couple of things. that I have to take care of, and it's kept me really kind of exhausted. And I am now feeling a little bit better, and I'm actually hoping I'll be 100% by next week. So, hey, got some things coming up. I'm actually hoping to really, get this game uploaded later today. I'm hoping to get another game in tomorrow, one of my newer games. This whole week, I'm trying to knock out every game that I haven't shown you all. And then Saturday, I have Adventure to Fate Saturday. You can check that out. Nice, super, super chunky, long Adventure to Fate Dungeons, Part 2, my champion naturalist. So that's coming on Saturday. That'll start at 9 a.m., so early, so you can check that out. Hoping to get one game in on Friday and one game in on Sunday. And then whatever comes up next week, hopefully it'll be some new games. I really hope. And I'm probably not going to drop the top 10s or the year in review videos into December. Because that's when all of you are on vacation and leaving. I don't expect you to sit through super, super long episodes. Just nice, charming, warming, relaxing kind of videos. Also, I have another Endore Awakens video coming. It's going to be a super chunky 3 to 4 part series. I'm going to be covering how to take advantage of the Vesper's Dark Blackstone. Vesper's Black, I think, is Blackstone. So I'm going to teach you how to take advantage of some really cool aspects of Endore Awakens. And yeah, that's going to be a 4-part series, so I'll be squeezing that in prior to the release of Dungeons. So yeah, look forward to that. That's going to be a very cozy game experience. So we're not going to do anything heavy. We're going to relax. We're going to do some dungeons. We're going to upgrade. We're going to equip our characters. We're going to have a super great time. We're going to drink a bunch of coffee. I'm going to talk about a bunch of Netflix movies. I'm going to talk about what me and Queen Angel are planning for the holidays. And I'm going to ask you all what you're doing for the holidays, how you're doing. And we're going to continue to work on our subscription campaign. So we are moving up. We're somewhere around, I do believe we are somewhere near 314. So, hey, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I've been looking at the names, subscribing, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for adding your name to my subscriptions, and thank you so much. And hey, all you new subscribers, oh, sorry. My pipe was getting in my nose at the campfire. I want you all, you new subscribers, if you have some new games, you can definitely let me know. This year I've had several of you really help me with games. Blood Bowl, I've had Jordan, I've had a few of you really help me out with some really new games for me to give a try. And yeah, all you new subscribers, you can reach out to me on my email. You can also find me on Discord. If you have a game you want me to check out, just let me know. Hey, game, check this game out. You'll like it. Give me an idea of how much the accessibility is. If it's like really difficult, no worries. It goes on my retro roll. If it's super easy to play, then I'll directly drop it on whatever particular playlist, whether it's TCG, Builder, Character, or like Toon Tuesdays, or War on Wednesdays. Just let me know. I will try to get back and drop some more some war game videos. I've got a couple of different war games I want to get out there. Glory Frontline, I'll try to get out there and get that game, get a couple more episodes of that in there. There's another game. It's I forgot the name of it. It's a role-playing game. It's really, really fun to play. I'll try to get that game. It's got the really cute sounds. I'll try to get that game out there. I just can't remember the name of it. Yeah, there's several games. I'll try to get the year-end roundup and just swing by and touch them. So I've done my big focus on Dungeons, which was 30. Well, I'm at currently 29 episodes, but it's going to be 30. I've done 30 episodes. By the point that you're checking this out, I've already recorded. I've done about 30 episodes of the early review of the beta and the late review of the beta of Adventure to Fate Dungeons. So I've given it super justice. It's going to be an absolutely monster of a game. It's going to be amazing. And let me tell you something. That's not even the end of it. It's got some fantastic surprises coming. You think you heard all the dungeons. Oh, no. It's not even close. Let me tell you something. It's not even over. There are more dungeons coming, and they're going to have some very unique play aspects. So get ready for some incredible fun. Just like Dawncaster has some incredibly new, unique features. So Dawncaster's got the junkyard. It's got, I think it's mutations. I think it's got these body modification features. It's got these new cards that do all kinds of absolutely fantastic stuff. Yeah, Dawncaster has updated its codex, C-O-D-E-X. So if you want to know, as a blind and visually impaired gamer, what's in there, you can go check out the codex. Again, this game is 100% accessible. It is accessible to the max. It's a totally cooperative, accessible game. So you're never going to struggle with Dawncaster. Yeah, once in a blue moon during an update, it might take it a little bit of time to settle down, but that's really a wrinkle. And actually, if you're going to get upset because your bed has a wrinkle in it, then you're just a little too anal retentive. Wrinkles are nothing. Not being able to play, that's a major problem. So yeah, Dawncaster, if anything happens, it's a very minuscule wrinkle in the time and space continuum. All right, we're in the middle of playing. We are in the water level playing a knight. We've got a very powerful deck. I'm going to show you how this deck can just wipe out any opponent. I'm going to explain some of the weirder things that are going on. And if I run across any new cards, let me find a sound effect that lets you know it's a new card. Where is my... No, that's not... Let's see. Maybe Baby Goat? Let me see if Baby Goat can give us... No? Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll do our Baby Goat for new cards. So anytime I run across a new card, we'll do a Baby Goat sound. Hopefully you can hear it. It's not very loud because my headphones are on. Also letting you know, there's nothing wrong with my sound setup. I know people think there is, there isn't. Depending on how much money you spend on a microphone, you get the best or just whatever sound you get. So my microphone is working as intended. I've already had several people take a look at it. It is fine. It's just not that loud. So the only thing I can do to make sure that you have a comfortable experience is to keep my background sounds reasonable, which means you'll notice the BGMs are not that loud, and you'll notice that my noise, live, work, pray, content, create, it's the best app ever if you want a soundscape that is beautiful and copyright free. Hey, my partner in 2025, then you'll know that I like to keep the sounds on it reasonable. But it's just a great partner for me. It always gives me the sounds I need for whatever zone that I'm exploring. So, yeah. So, there's no problems with my microphones. I'm not having any microphone problems. Yes, occasionally I will always talk over voiceover. But guess what? That's voiceover. That's me. I apologize if I upset you. I apologize if it's not your quality level you've come to expect. But remember, if you stick with me, I'll make sure that you have fun. And again, I'm keeping sounds low so that you can enjoy my voice and what I'm talking about, because a lot of the things I do are informative or information-based and news-based, as well as entertainment-based and play-based. I'm playing through a game, but I'm also providing information to new players and returning players. All right.
Player health 100. Show deck. Cards currently. Player health 120.
We have 120 health.
Player gold 112.
We have 112 gold. What's my goals? My goals are to kind of beat the game. I was also able to do the bounties. So if I beat this particular run, I'll actually get a nice set of fate shards, because if I beat it with the knight, I'll get some return. I also am imbuing things, so I'm at 5 out of 10. So if I imbue another 5 things, which is basically your enchants, I will get a nice big fat reward of fate shards. As you know right now, we are well beyond 10,000 fate shards. And hey, I have enough fate shards to keep filling to completely unravel or completely open up any new expansions. And of course, there will be another expansion next year, so I'm ready for it. Again, I play this game a lot, and I get a lot of double fate shards rewards, and that's going to happen when you log in each day. So make sure you log in each day, collect your rewards, play the weekly trials because they reward a lot of fate shards, a lot.
Player health 120. Show deck. Use weapon power fortive character info. Mini boss cursed crack and violet eye spear at you from beneath the depths.
Okay, so we got the mini boss.
Character info. Mini boss cursed Octorate 8 slithery arms wave menacingly in your direction.
The Opterists are like octopuses, they're super weak.
Campsite a brief respite from the perils of adventure.
Campsites, you can rest, and if you unlock certain things, you can purchase items.
Settings.
So we're looking good. I'm going to go ahead and knock out. Now, okay, one of the rules of this weekly trial is that all mini bosses and main bosses are monstrous in health. So their health is like 100% higher, which means they're huge. Again, this deck is so strong, I'm not really concerned. However, you're going to want to be careful because most mini bosses have tricks. I've been skipping a lot of mini bosses because I've just not had a lot of luck with them, and they have a habit of killing me. So I'm just trying to beat the game with this particular class, and I might even play it one more time because I've had so much fun with Monster Mash, and that's what this weekly trial is called. By the time you listen to this, you won't have time because every Thursday there's a new weekly trial that pops up. So again, don't worry about it. If this is not your cup of tea, there's a weekly trial for you that will be your cup of tea.
Settings.
Okay, so I'm going to go for...
Campsite 8 Octorate 8 slithery arms wave menacingly in your direction.
Knock out some of these octopuses real quick.
You gain Savagery enchantment. You gain Overwatch enchantment. Enemy gains 8 arms enchantment. Your turn. Player status. Savagery. This combat. Gain SDR whenever you deliver a crushing strike.
I'm going to show you my enchantments that I've already done some imbuing of.
Player status. Overwatch. This combat. After your foe plays a card, they gain stagger equal to your armor.
Okay, so I have Overwatch, and what am I going to do? What is Overwatch? Overwatch is a brand new card. It's so amazing. If you are a warrior, you're going to have so much fun with Overwatch. So basically, Overwatch says whenever your opponent plays a card, they take stagger equal to your armor. And if you are a player who uses a lot of armor building cards like I do, then that stagger is going to be brutal. And remember, your opponent's going to take it's going to take a half a point of damage for every point of stagger. So if your opponent has 2 stagger, they take 1 point of damage. If your opponent has 10 stagger, they take 5 points of damage. It adds up quickly, and there aren't very many defenses against stagger. Poison, there's defenses. Stun, there are defenses. Darkness, there are defenses. There are a lot of defenses. Evasion, there are defenses. But stagger is really good because it could really catch your opponent off guard. It's really good against the NPCs because they've got certain defenses. Now, I've got some other surprises in this deck, and we'll get into them as we play.
Enemy name Octorate. Enemy health 46. Player status. Overwatch. This player status. Savagery. This combat. Gain SDR whenever you deliver a crushing strike.
Savagery, I do not believe is a new card. I've heard of this card before, but it is so brutally broken in this deck. So, every time my cards do 10 points of damage or more, I am refunded 1 strength surge. So think about that. That means all of my basic attacks are free because at this point, from the blacksmith and upgrades, individual upgrades and shrines, all of my basic attacks do at least 10 points of damage. Now this is going to happen when you do something called upgrade. So you can upgrade at the blacksmith, you can upgrade at shrines, and you can also upgrade from special events. So yeah, this particular enchantment is a great enchantment to imbue, and it's going to make sure that you can kind of kill things in one turn. And if you're drawing a lot of cards, all of those basic attacks are going to be free. Again, the most important part of this strategy is use your basic attacks first, no matter what, so you're never running out of surge strength. The thing about being a paladin, keep in mind, is the paladin has 1 strength surge, 1 intelligence surge per turn. So you're not going to have like a warrior with a ton of strength surge. So you have to be judicious. Also, keep in mind the paladin uses intelligence cards, and intelligence cards are not all brute strength. A lot of them are magically based. Some of them are kind of like a cross between magic and strength. So there's a lot of different kind of cards there. Okay, so between these two enhancements, these two, excuse me, I'm just gonna call them enchantments, my deck is so strong. And again, when you play Dawncaster's
Dark Blessing. Player status. Savagery. This combat. Gain SDR whenever you deliver a crushing strike.
you're going to want to get these enchantments up. They're very expensive. For instance, the first enchantment, you get that from Balder, it's going to cost you 100 gold. The second enchantment is going to cost you 150 gold. The third enchantment is going to cost you 200 gold. And the fourth enchantment is going to cost you, I do believe, 300 gold. And you can keep going. Though it's not likely you're going to get more than maybe 3 to 5 enchantments uploaded. However, there are shrines and events that can give you an extra enchantment. Again, this is one of the most enjoyable parts of Dawncaster, is getting these enchantments set up. And you can just basically get the use of a card without it being in your deck. That makes your deck faster, stronger, and more streamlined. And everybody plays a different kind of enchantment, which means your deck is going to be unique from other players, which is awesome. Okay, so that's my enchantments that have already been popped up, and I've already dropped 250 gold on those 2 enchantments. How do you get that much gold? Well, you're going to have to work on just the red gem is a good way to get gold. Visiting every single pop-up event is a good way to make gold. Following the quest lines, talking to different NPC who offer you quests, completing those quests is very important. That's another way to make gold. Killing as many monsters as you can. Also, exploring like oddities. Of course, there's a chance to get hurt. There's a chance to die. There's a chance to get your socks knocked off. But to me, it's really important in Dawncasters to explore difficult situations, because that's going to make you stronger. This is still very much a game of memory, as much as it has some random encounters. A lot of this game is memory, which means if you know what's going to happen, you can take advantage of the situation. Now, I really believe, talking about some future parts of Dawncaster, I do believe randomness is a good way to provide replayability into this game. This game does need a few more random encounters. It does need a little more variety. It does need more zones. It does need more surprise dungeons. And it does have some delves, but it needs more. I would say they need to have a delve or 2 for every zone. Every zone should have a secret little delve that you can go into and get some rewards. And there should be some chance that you die. And I do believe delves should have a difficulty mode, which means delves can be made easy, hard, easy, medium, or hard. So there should be a delve level set. So you can go, hey, I'm looking for good rewards because I'm going to take on a super hard secret boss. Well, I need a strong delve in order to get the rewards I need. So that way I would set my delves to difficult. Now, if I'm a new player and I'm just looking for a little boost to beat the end of the zone boss, I would say I'd set my delves to easy. Now, if I'm kind of like an intermediate player and I play all the time, I'm just looking for some variety, then I could set my delves to, say, intermediate, or you'd call it medium, something like that. So it's not exactly brutal, but it's not easy either. So those are some of the things, my IMOs, I want to say, number one, that we could have more delves, be able to set their difficulty, and do some more interesting things with those. And I'd like to see more of them. Now, delves, there are some delves already. Like there's a delve when you go into the mansion, It has a delve where you kind of go into this little place and you explore. There's a couple of delves. I think there's a couple of delves in a few of the other places. I can't remember exactly what they are, but there are a few. There's like a delve where you go in the metals, where you go underground and talk to the little mole guy and he gives you some cool stuff. Those are all delves, by the way. Those are just little side adventures. There's some Julius delves that give you some opportunities to buy some gear. So yeah, there are delves. I would love to see them get longer. I'd love to see them have difficulty settings, and I'd like to see more of them because they are absolutely fun. Got my Dawncaster coffee.
Player status. Overwatch. This combat. After your folk player status. Umbral shield. Gain character info. Player health 120. Show deck. Player energy. End turn. Umbral shield.
Okay,
Gain 35 armor at the start of your next turn.
Okay, so
convert one of your foe's blessings to an affliction. Defiled. Memorized. Action. Monster. Tooltips. Armor. When dealt damage, take 1 less damage per stack of armor. Armor fades at the start of the turn. Blessing. A beneficial effect such as regenerate, focus or chain. Affliction. A negative effect such as poison, bleeding or dazed.
The tooltips have gotten a massive overhaul. They are so clean, so good, so well done. Rick Vander Wall has outdone himself with the upgrades he's done with the game. Again, he's always been a savant, but he's just made accessibility so much easier. So if you want to know what things were like in the very beginning, it was always good. He really never had an issue with kind of making voiceover work perfectly and succinctly with his game. He's never had an issue. He's just that good. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And Rick, you can put any of my videos on your Discord anytime. So yeah, I really absolutely love it. Oh, one more shout out to Poyo. So if you want to know where a lot of my art comes from for my thumbnails, it was done by an artist named Poyo. And if you're looking to hire an artist, reach out to me on my Gmail. But yeah, thank you. Poyo did a great job with all the artwork. It's really great. Poyo puts up with me because I always want nice, cute, salacious art. I like cute girls, bunny girls, monster girls. I like, and Poyo's like, mm-mm. Me and Queen Angel would say, I'm sure I'm a cringy old man sometimes, you know, but as a cringy old man, I have the kind of art I like, and it just happens to be a very attractive monster girl. Sorry, that's just me. Anyway, Poyo did some magnificent, obviously appropriate art, so shut your mouth. So there's obviously appropriate art, but Poyo did the thumbnails, and actually Angel 2 did some thumbnails a while back, but I'm still having a little trouble importing some of my old thumbnails, so I'm working on it. You know, sometimes with YouTube, art will be turned off, and you have to get YouTube to approve some of your artwork again. It goes, hey, is this okay? And I'm like, why do you have to check again? So whenever I get a new phone, you can be sure all my artwork from before won't be accessible. So what I do is I have to get new artwork, or I have to go back and re-save that artwork and then get YouTube to approve it. So it's kind of frustrating sometimes.
Longsword. +8. Neutral 1.
Right,
Deal star 12 star damage. Gain 10 armor. Upgradable. Melee basic attack. Common. Tooltips. Armor. When dealt damage, take 1 less damage per stack of armor. Armor fades at the start of the turn. Upgradable. This card can be upgraded and improves the card in unusual ways.
Okay, so I can't. This is not a platform where I can make voiceover be quiet. Not that I would ever do that because I'm too lazy. But okay, so long sword is a typical weapon of the knight. It's a very low level weapon, but it actually has so many really important functions. Number one, it can be upgraded, which is really, you know, not always the case when it comes to basic weapons. Number two, it provides you with armor. Number three, it's inexpensive, costing you only 1 surge, which is great. So that's a lot of good things that it does. And it works really well with my deck because of savagery. So savagery is going to give me 1 strength every time I do at least 10 points of damage. You may remember that there are a lot of decks that rely on you doing at least double-digit damage, and yeah, that's really important for certain deck styles.
Longsword. +7. Surge of Strength. Gain SDR. Dark Blessing. Life 1. Gain 1 anger. Inflict a random affliction with 3 stacks. Persistent. Psionic. Corruption action. Common. Tooltips. Anger. Increases the damage dealt by actions by 1 per stack of anger. Affliction. A negative effect such as poison, bleeding, or dazed.
Okay, so Psionic is new. I haven't figured out how to use Psionic, but I'm going to be working on it. There's another term, I think it's called adaptation. That's new. There's a way to do that to your cards. I have a long way to go before I can understand how to utilize that, but it is really exciting. I love the new features in Synthesis. So this is not a new card. This card basically gives me a buff and then debuffs my opponent. You know, it doesn't feel like a powerful card, but it actually is, because you just get a really good debuff and it does a lot of harm. Again, you don't want to overdo anything. I feel like the strongest decks in Dawncaster are decks that do a little bit of everything.
Player status. Savagery. This comp. Dark Blessing. Surge of Strength. Longsword. Longsword. Umbral Shield. End turn. Umbral Shield. Gain 35 armor at the start of your next turn. Convert one of your foe's blessings to an affliction. Defiled. Memorized. Action. Monster. Tooltips. Armor. When dealt damage, take 1 less damage per stack of armor. Armor fades at the start of the turn. Blessing. A beneficial effect such as regenerate, focus, or chain. Affliction. A negative effect such as poison, bleeding, or dazed.
Umbral Shield is a monster card, I do believe, but it may not be because I don't hear it saying monster card. Whenever a card is a monster card, it will say monster card. Now, what is the difference between a regular card and a monster card, you may ask? Well, the former is a card that monsters use. If you ever want to know what monsters do, well, play a monster mash, kind of like Weekly Trial, or look for a card that unlocks monster cards. That's the best way if you are basically making videos about Dawncaster, or you want to really deeply understand the cards in Dawncaster. Play with monster cards because it kind of explains what monsters are doing to you. I love monster cards. They're so OP. Not necessarily broken, but they can be really powerful. Now, the latter, your regular cards, they won't say monster cards, and they can be varied, they can be twisted, they can be changed, they can be upgraded. Some can't, some will. They can be changed quite a bit because there are a lot of cards that modify regular cards as well as monster cards. But regular cards are typically about the same. Everyone kind of has the same card. Now, depending on how ambitious you are, you can upgrade that card and make it stronger. You can sometimes screw it up and make it inert, which does happen. I've done it several times. But yes, monster cards are very unique. They're really fun, and you can definitely learn a lot about them if you play a monster deck. All right, and there's a way to do it even without the weekly trial. Hopefully, I'll show you a card in my upcoming gameplays which can allow you to interact with monster cards. And it only requires a very small sacrifice to do it.
Longsword. +8. Neutral 1.
All right,
Deal
so
star
what
12
I'm
star.
going to do is
Umbral Shield. Gain 35 armor at the start of your next turn. You gain 35 armor stacks. You gain Umbral Shield enchantment. Longsword. +8. Neutral 1. Deal star 12 star damage. Gain 10 armor upgradable. Melee basic attack. Common. Tooltips. Armor. When dealt damage. Take end turn.
You may have noticed that my Umbral Shield had no cost, no surge. That's because I used the Levitation Shrine in order to reduce its cost. So I can pop my Umbral Shield all the time. You might want to say, why are you doing that? Well, this deck has so many broken cards that allow me to damage my opponent. Number one, I've got a enchant that makes my opponent take damage equal to my armor at the end of each of my turns. I have another card that says well, I showed you that one. Whenever my opponent plays a card, they take stagger equal to the amount of armor that I have. So it behooves me to play. When I say drop, I just mean play. It behooves me to play as many cards with armor on it as possible. That gives me passive ways to hurt my opponent that are just way going to outstrip any of its healing. Another thing I have in this deck, and this is going to be a very important pro tip for you, is that you need to have a card that can execute your opponent. One of the biggest problems is that at the end of your zone hunt, your zone progress, you run into creatures who are like divinities, demons, and they have ways to survive well beyond what you do to them, which means they can keep coming back to life. You need to be able to execute them. Without the ability to execute, you might lose to an opponent because the creatures in this game are incredibly intelligent, which means they will build up their stats. You might be thinking you're so smart, but they're going to build up their stats until they beat you. And trust me, I've been very disappointed. I've played a game and done everything perfectly just to run into a witch who has the ability not to die, who just has the ability to resurrect herself, and then boom, you're screwed. So you've got to have at least one easy to find, maybe perhaps make so that you can't burn it. So make sure that you maybe have like some kind of ability for it to not be destroyed, or make it persistent so it doesn't get dumped into your deck. But you need to have a card that can execute your opponent. And if you're running a fire deck that buries cards, you got to be careful there, because sometimes your opponent kind of has a deck that takes advantage of the fact that you're burying cards. And when you bury a card, your opponent might have a deck that removes a card from that particular battle. Then you're screwed. So if your opponent has the ability to come back to life over and over again, and you just buried the card you need, and your opponent has the ability to make that card disappear, you lose. Because there are enemies in this game that will build up their power to they're hitting you with like 30, 40 points of fire damage every turn, or they're just doing massive crits to you, or they're hitting you 10 times, and you're not going to survive that. I don't care how good you are at managing your HP. There's going to come a point where your opponent has built themselves up so much that you're going to get your socks knocked off. All right. Well, I don't think we're going to have that issue, but then again, I've been wrong many times before.
Player energy, int, 2 STR, 1, end turn, longsword, plus 8, neutral 1, deal star 12 star damage, enemy takes 12 damage, you gain 10 armor stacks.
Again, this is an octopus. It's super weak. I have no fear from it. It doesn't have anything special. The only special thing this octopus does is he'll hit you like 8 times in a row with all of his tentacles. Like, it's very minimal damage.
Surge of strength. Gain, you heal 1 health. Dark blessing. Life 1. Gain, you take 1 damage. You gained 1 anger stacks. Enemy gained 3 delirious stacks.
And this is a good deck for killing an opponent on the first turn.
Longsword. Plus 7. Enemy takes 12 damage. You gained 9 armor stacks. Player status. Savagery. This combat. Gain SDR whenever you deliver a crushing strike. End turn. Player status. Savagery. This combat. Gain SDR. Player status. Overwatch. This combat. After your foe plays a card, they gain stagger equal to your honor. Player status. End turn.
Octopus has like 40 to 60.
Enemy playing cards. Octoblock. Enemy gain 54 stagger stacks. Enemy gain 4 armor stacks. Enemy gain 4 armor stacks. You gain 4 dazed stacks. Your turn. End turn.
He's gotten 54 stagger stacks, which means he'll take half of that, so he'll take 27 points of damage. That's so brutal. Again, that's one of my talents. That's one of my enchants.
Fevered burning. Neutral 1. Gain 1 impervious. Gain 3 burning. Action. Monster. Tooltips.
Okay,
impervious. While impervious, take no damage. When dealt damage on the enemy turn, take no damage and decrease impervious by 1. Burning. At the end of the turn, take 1 damage per stack of burning.
Fever Burning is a monster card, and what's really good about Fever Burning is that it works really good with an Ode card. And the Ode card basically removes any damage, any negative status elements I've given myself. There's an Ode card that gives me barrier based on how many of those effects I remove. So this deck has a really good synergy. It has tons of armor, tons of barrier, and lots of status elements to keep my opponent guessing.
Longsword. Plus, healing potion. Profane shell. Surge of intellect. Profane shell. Bonus.
And there it is.
STR1. Convert 1 of your afflictions to barrier. Draw a card. Action. Common. Tooltips. Barrier. When dealt damage, take 1 less damage per stack of barrier. Barrier does not fade, and can be dispelled.
Profane Barrier is not a new card, but it is a great card, and it's getting even more implementation right now. Because whenever I give myself a status element, Profane Barrier will remove it. And because Rick Vanderwall has made it easy to understand the card's usefulness, it will give you a little bonus pop-up that lets you know that the card is ready to interact with an element in your status bar. So Profane Barrier has gotten new life. It is so fun to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my status effect, which is going to hurt my opponent, making it so that they can't hurt me on their turn. But it's going to give me 3 stacks of burning. So burning means on my next turn, I'm going to take damage equal to my burning. So you don't want that because that's a lot of damage. And unless you have invulnerability to fire, it's going to burn you. So what I do is I give my opponent as many status effects as I can, as well as myself, and then I remove them with Profane Barrier, with Profane Ward.
Healing Potion. Profane Shell. Bonus.
Profane Shell.
STR1. Healing Potion. 1 use. Gain 10 health if you... Longsword. Fevered Burning. End turn.
With that Profane thing, it's going to go ahead and give me lots of barrier. So let's do this. But again, make sure you have at least 2 surges so that you can utilize the combo. Or if you want, use the Levitation Shrine to reduce the cost of Profane Barrier or whatever it's called.
Player Energy. Int. 3 STR. 4.
So I have a bunch of surge. So.
End turn. Fevered Burning. Neutral 1. Gain 1 impervious. You gained 1 impervious stacks. You gained 3 burning stacks.
So you heard I got 3 burning stacks. So now I'm going to go over to...
Healing Potion. Profane Shell. Bonus.
Profane
Int STR1.
Shell.
Convert 1 of your afflictions to barrier. Draw a card. Action.
There we go.
You gain 3 barrier stacks.
And there you go. You heard it. It turned those 3 burnings into barrier. Barrier is great because barrier, unlike armor, doesn't disappear at the end of your turn. Your opponent has to break through your barrier, so it's really cool. I don't have it directly on the tip of my tongue, but I do believe barrier blocks magic. I may be mistaken, so I don't know. Hey, don't get mad at me. Hey, stop trolling me, goats. I have my trolley goats. They get mad. So you might want to know why I'm making those weird sounds. Those are little noise makers I often have in my videos. It's my way of staying awake and entertaining you as best I can.
Battle Visor. Neutral 1. Activate. Draw a card. 8 durability. Equipment. Common. Tooltips. Equipment. Equipments can be activated to gain their effect once per round. Once their durability runs out, they are removed for the remainder of the combat.
Battle Visor is a brand new equipment card, and it goes into your status bar area. And every time you double tap on it in your status bar, it draws a free card. So it's your Pot of Greed times 8. Super. What is it? Pot of Greed in Yu-Gi-Oh? Does it draw 2 cards or 1 card? I think Pot of Greed draws 2 cards, and you have to discard 1 card. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I used to play, as all you know, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. My sons and me used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. We used to go to this store in Piedmont, and we would play Yu-Gi-Oh all day long. Okay, so Battle Visor is a great card. Definitely a new card. You're going to want to pick up that card. I think it's a must-have in every deck.
Player status. Savagery. This Battle Visor. Neutral 1. Activate.
That.
Draw. End turn.
Okay, so Battle Visor is now equipped. And so now you go to your status bar and you double tap it.
Longsword. +7. Neutral. Healing Potion. Surge of Intellect. Gain player status. Battle Visor. Stacks 8. Activate. Draw a card.
I love that sound.
Longsword. +7. Neutral 1. Deal star 12 star damage. Gain 9 armor upgradable. End turn. Longsword. Healing Potion. 1 use. Gain 10. Surge of Intellect. Gain INT and 1 focus. Into the pot. +1. Int 1. If the foe's health is at 11% or below, slay it and start next combat with a random potion. Upgradable. Unique. Action. Uncommon. Tooltips. Slay. Slay triggers when a foe is brought to exactly 0 health.
Okay, so tooltips are wonderful. This is Into the Pot. This is not a new card, but it is a great card, and you're going to want to have at least 1 card that executes your opponent in case they have that resurrection skill, or they have a very like annoying skill that keeps bringing them back to life or returning them to 1 hit point. So this card is great because you can upgrade it, and if you upgrade it enough, you can execute opponents who have a lot of health left. I've gotten this one up to 11%. So if my opponent has 11% health or less, I can execute them. Again, its bonus moniker will pop up to let you know that you can activate it. Remember something about refresh. Now, a lot of cards don't pop up their bonus kind of like aspect unless you swipe off of them and then swipe back onto them. Once you do that, you'll see or hear the bonus. Again, if you're sighted, you're probably looking at the card glowing or doing something unusual. If you are listening to this video and you are sighted and you're seeing something weird with cards that I have, because I'm not seeing cards, I'm listening to them, you can let me know in the comments. what cards that are ready to activate their special skills look like. That way, when I give people instructions who are playing the game, I can talk to them about it. But yeah, feel free to comment about what cards look like when they're ready to activate their special abilities. So yeah, Into the Pot is a great card to have. It's an execute card. It will slay an opponent, which means it neither it kind of just kills it. It kind of like reduces its health and doesn't trigger your opponent's dead spawn kind of capability. You heard me talk about dead spawn a lot in dungeons. But basically, some enemies will do something when they die. And Dawncaster's enemies love to do that, especially the more powerful ones. So you've got to bypass that ability, or else you might fight a creature. I remember there was one time, many expansions ago, I wound up fighting a creature for like 12 hours. Just endlessly, and I beat it. But it took like a miracle to beat it. And I leveled up too, it was really cool. But oh, it was so hard. I just had to keep fighting and fighting. It kept healing and healing. I fought it and fought it. Eventually, I built up so much power, I was able to beat it. But it was so hard. And it was building up its strength, and it was hitting me like a truck. I was hitting it like a truck. It was crazy, but very fun. Again, that's my most memorable battle I've ever had. That was probably like last year. And like I said, 12 hours fighting that monster. It was a boss. I think it was in the swamps. It was not going to let me kill it easily. It made me work for every inch I moved ahead. And it's so many setbacks. It was just amazing. It was probably my absolute favorite fight I've ever had in Dawncaster. So yeah, again, yes, you can have fights in Dawncaster that last for days. It's, that's just how it goes. The enemies here are not a pushover. And by the way, I'm playing Dawncaster on the easiest difficulty setting. If you are really good, you can play it on hell mode. I mean, literally, it's hell. You're going to get your socks knocked off like every other battle. It's so hard, again. But yeah, this game has difficulty settings, and you can literally just challenge yourself to the nth degree.
Player status, Battle Visor, Longsword, +7, Healing Potion, Surge of Intellect.
Let me just
you gain 1 focus stats.
This octopus.
Healing Potion, 1 Longsword, plus enemy takes 4 damage. You gain 9 armor stacks. End turn. Healing Potion. Into the pot. +1. In player status. Battle Visor. Stack 7. Player status. Player status. Battle Visor. Stack 7 activate. Into the pot. Healing Potion. End turn.
I think we're almost got this guy dead.
Enemy turn. Victory. Next. There
it is. He died. Next. He died from the stagger. Again, my character does damage to characters at the end of the turn based on how much armor. So the enemy takes damage equal to my armor at the end of the turn. My enemy takes damage every time they play a card from stagger, unless they have a way of removing it. So potentially, if my opponent plays 3 cards, he's going to be taking anywhere from 30 to 40 points of armor damage. And by the way, as a knight, I have a chance to get fortitude, which means my armor doesn't get removed at the end of the turn. So imagine, let's say I built up my armor to like 45 in a turn, and it gets carried over to the next turn. I'm going to build up even more armor, so potentially my opponent could be taking 100 damage just from that stagger. Cut it in half, call it 50 damage. But they're also going to take a bunch of damage at the end of the turn. So yeah, Fortitude is a great addition to this kind of deck, which benefits from armor damage. And by the way, armor damage is a lot more viable. It was already viable, but it's even more viable in the new expansion.
Enemy status, 8 settings.
All right, let's get our rewards.
Enemies, character and player health 109. Show deck. Next. You gain 5 gold. Select a card to add to your deck. Skippable. Skip reward. Enemy status. Blood Quench. Life 1. Draw a card. If it can be adapted, add the draining adaptation. Action. Uncommon. Tooltips. Adapt. Cards with available adaptation slots can be adapted to gain additional effects when played. These effects range from additional damage to a unique bonus whenever the attack hits your foe. Draining.
Okay, so this is a new card. So this is a card that takes advantage of the new feature called Adaptation. And yes, it's extremely powerful. It's basically getting an enchant. It's a modifier. It's going to make a modification to your card. It's going to make your card stronger. And I don't know what the limit, but it looks like you can modify a card about 5 or 6 times. And don't forget, there are cards in the game that do that already. This is just doubling down on that effect. So that's amazing. So this is a new card. Again, my deck is pretty much complete. I'm at 20 cards in this deck. I don't want my deck to get much bigger because one of the things you don't want to do, and I'm going to give you that as a pro tip, not numbering it, but one of the things you don't want to do is make your deck too unwieldy because then your deck gets slow. And if your deck is slow, you can lose. Again, try to keep your deck under 20 cards. Take advantage of the scholar effect if you need to as a caster, but for the most part, I try to keep my decks anywhere from 16 to 20 cards. Now, there are certain weekly trials that they want your deck to be anywhere from 18 to 22 cards for the most part. That seems to be where things are at right now. So that's okay. I've had certain decks where I had 28 cards in it, but most of those cards, by the way, were speeders, which meant I could speed my deck up. So it didn't really affect my deck. And by the way, most of the cards in that deck were free, so it didn't matter what was in front of me. I had a way to also draw more cards. So yeah, I'm actually familiar with certain decks that have 100 cards in it. Now, some people build decks like that. I've never had much success with that, but I did have a caster deck that had about 40, 50 cards in it. So it was fun.
Inner Demon. Int STR1. Gain. Blood Quench. Life 1. Draw a card. If it can be adapted, add a draining adaptation. Action. Uncommon. Tooltips. Adapt. Cards with available adaptation slots can be adapted to gain additional effects when played. These effects range from additional damage to a unique bonus whenever the attack hits your foe.
Play a
Draining.
little bit longer, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Inner Demon. Int STR1. Gain. Blood Quench.
We
Life
got
1.
Blood
Draw a card.
Quench.
Inner Demon. Int STR1. Gain 5 anger winning. Defiled. Corruption action. Common. Tooltips. Anger. Increases the damage
We
dealt
got
by actions
Inner
by 1 per
Demon.
stack of anger. Winning.
That's an old
Effects on winning
card.
cards. Surge of Unity. Neutral 2. Gain Dex INT SDR Holy. Charges. 1/1.
This
Action.
might be a
Rare.
new card.
Tooltips.
I don't know if it's a new card, but
Inner Demon. Surge of Unity. Neutral 2.
Surge of
Gain Dex
Unity
INT SDR Holy.
sounds like a
Charges.
new card, but I
1/1.
could be
Action.
wrong.
Rare. Tool. Inner Demon. Surge of Unity. Neutral 2. Gain Dex INT SDR Holy. Charges. 1/1. Action. Rare. Tooltips.
this card kind of gives you a little bit of every energy. So I've always wanted to make a strange energy deck, but I just have to get around to it. Right now, I'm much more excited about the new cards. All right, so I don't hear anything here we really want. Let's take a look at that adaptation card.
Inner Demon. Blood Quench. Life 1. Draw a card. If it can be adapted, add the draining adaptation. Action. Uncommon. Tooltips. Adapt. Cards with available adaptation slots can be adapted to gain additional effects when played. These effects range from additional damage to a unique bonus whenever the attack hits your foe. Draining.
Training sounds fun. Let's play with this card. It has a life cost, so it's not going to make our deck too much slower. Again, I just want to see how much adaptations I can do to my cards, so I'm going to add it. Again, I don't want my deck to get too big, so if it gets to be in the way, I'll remove it.
Enemy status. Enemy status. Enemy stat. Blood Quench. Inner Demon. Surge of Unity. Add Blood Quench to deck.
Let's add Blood Quench.
Enemy status. Stagger. Blood Exploration. Show deck. Use weapon. Use weapon power. Fortified weapon. Use your weapon power to start your next combat with armor. Wave Siren. This alluring creature seems to beckon you closer.
We got a Wave Siren. She's kind of strong, but against this deck, I don't think she can stop us.
Salty Seafarer. This heavy-handed pirate staggers your way.
Physical enemies are not going to give us too much trouble.
Octorate 8 slithery arms wave menacingly in your direction.
Again, we can kill another Octorate. Again, those are super easy. Let's take on a little stronger opponent to wrap up this episode.
Salty Seafarer. Wave Siren. This alluring creature seems to beckon you closer.
Let's take on a non-physical enemy. Let's take on the more of a witch.
You gain Savagery Enchantment. You gain Overwatch Enchantment. Enemy gains Water Barrier Enchantment. Your turn. Player status. Umbral Shield. Gain 35 armor at the start of your next turn. Convert one of your foe's blessings to an affliction. Defiled. Memorized. Action. Monster. Tooltips. Armor. When dealt damage. Stand your ground. STR2. This combat. Deal damage equal to your armor at the end of your turn. Enchantment.
This is really
Rare.
cool. So
Tooltips.
this
Armor. When
enchantment
dealt damage.
we're gonna
Take 1 less damage.
activate.
Umbral. Stand your ground. STR2. This combat. Deal damage equal to your Umbral. End turn.
Before I activate any of this other stuff, I'm going to want to use my basic weapons because they all return 1 strength.
Umbral Shield. Stand your ground. Surge of Intellect. Gain
Let's
INT and 1 focus.
activate.
You gain 1 focus stacks. Battle Visor. Battle Visor. Neutral 1. Activate. Draw a card. Player status. Savager. Battle Visor. Neutral 1. Longsword. +7.
let's do
Neutral 1.
that.
Enemy takes 11 damage. You gained 9 armor stacks. Player status. Savagery. Battle Visor. Stand your ground. Umbral Shield. End turn.
Okay, we're doing good. I'm going to activate my Battle Visor.
Umbral Shield.
Visor.
Stand your ground. STR2. This Battle Visor. Neutral. End turn.
Let's activate it.
Umbral Shield. Stand your ground. Player status. Battle visor. Stacks 8 activate. Draw a card.
That's going to draw us a card.
Player status. Savagery. This combat. Umbral shield. Stand your ground. ST. Longsword. +7. Neutral 1. Player status. Battle visor. Longsword. +7. Enemy takes 11 damage. You gained 9 armor stacks.
We're doing a lot of damage.
Player energy. Int. 1 STR. 2. End turn. Umbral shield. Gain. Stand your ground. STR 2. This combat.
Let's,
Deal Umbral shield. Gain
Umbral
30.
shield?
You gain 35 armor stacks. You gain Umbral shield enchantment.
35, yeah. And you know this Umbra shield is super weird. It just keeps getting stronger and stronger. And no, I do not know very much about Defiled. I know it means something, but again, it's one of the lesser cards I understand. And Defiled came in the last couple of expansions.
Player status. Battle visor. Stack 7 activate. Draw. Stand your ground.
Let's
STR2.
activate
This
Stand
combat.
Your Ground.
Player. You gain stand your ground enchantment. Player status. Battle visor. Stack 7 activate. Draw a card.
So you see how powerful this deck is? It's going to do a ton of damage to this witch.
Player status. Savagery. This player status. Battle visor. Stack 7. End turn.
Let's end her turn, and she's going to take a bunch of damage.
Victory. Next.
She's dead.
Next.
One turn kill. I told you, it's just crazy how powerful this deck is. I mean, the amount of damage my character does at the end of the turn is just crazy. One more fight.
Player gold 117. Player gold 117. Enemy status. Water barrier. At the end of your settings. Settings. Enemy status. Character info. Player health 1. Show deck. Next.
Let's see what
You gain 8
rewards
gold.
we got.
Select a card to add to your deck.
I
Skippable.
actually
Skip rewards.
want to use the quench card because I want to learn about it. I have a bloodthirst for knowledge.
Enemy status. Water barrier. Banner of Keyless. Int STR2. Start of turn. Gain STR or INT. Gain 1 rally. Artifact. Legendary. Tooltips.
Well, this is a new one. No, I don't know. This may not be a Banner of Keyless, may be an old card, but I rarely get to use this card.
Fervent Spirit. Int STR1. Spend all your energy, then inflict that much burning. Frenzy. Also gain that much bolster. Action. Common. Tooltips. Burning. At the end of the turn. Take 1 damage per stack of burning. Bolster. Increases health received during combat by 1 per stack of bolster.
This card I don't believe is new, but I don't do bolster very often.
Umbral Shield. Neutral 1. Gain 35 armor at the start of your next turn. Convert one of your foe's blessings to an affliction. Defile.
I should just
Action.
get multiple
Monster.
Umbral
Tooltip.
shields
Armor.
and
When dealt damage. Take
but I
1 less
don't
damage
need
per
it.
stack of armor.
One's fine.
Armor fades at the start of the turn. Fervent Spirit. Banner of Keyless. Int STR2. Start of turn. Gain STR or INT. Gain 1 rally. Artifact. Legendary. Tooltips.
I don't need this card. The only reason why I would pick this card up is to give it to the card trader. And because then he's going to give me something really powerful as a talent. So I'm going to pick up the card, see if I can trade it off. If not, I'll try to convert it with the merchant.
Fervent Spirit. Umbral Shield. Neutral 1.
The
Gain 35
Alchemist.
armor at the start of. Add Banner of Keyless to deck.
So I'm just going to add it so that I can just use it.
Umbral Shield. Fervent Banner of Keyless. Int STR2. Start of turn. Gain STR or INT. Gain 1 rally. Artifact. Legendary. Tooltips.
Started a turn. This is like an enchantment.
Enemy stat. Banner of Keyless. Int STR2. Start of turn. Gain STR or INT. Gain 1 rally. Artifact. Legendary. Tooltips. Fervent Spirit. Umbral Shield. Add Banner of Keyless to deck. Enemy status. Water barrier.
Again,
Exploration. Show deck.
you don't
Card,
wanna-
use weapon power. Fortified weapon. Use your weapon power to start your next combat with. Show deck. Cards currently in deck 23.
You don't want to get too greedy with grabbing random cards to hopefully trade them because sometimes you get stuck with them.
Octorate 8 slithery arms wave menacing with blacksmith. The fire still burn. Campsite 8 brief respite from the perils
Okay,
of
we got
adventure.
a blacksmith, so that's good.
Blacksmith. The use weapon. Show deck. Player health 119. Player gold 125.
We've already gotten our enchant, I do believe. I'm just scared to do it because if we have an enchant, we're going to need 200 gold. Actually, I think we probably should not visit the blacksmith until the very end of the level. The thing about the blacksmith is, if you want to upgrade all your cards, it's going to cost you 50 gold. But if you want to do enchants, they get more and more expensive. And at this point, I need 200 gold to do an enchant.
Octorate 8 slither. Settings. Campsite 8 brief respite from the blacksmith. The fire still burned. Octorate 8 slithery arms wave. Use weapon power. Fortified weapon. Octorate 8 slithery arms wave menacingly in your direction.
Let's do another Octorate. Just get a little bit more money.
You gain Savagery enchantment. You gain Overwatch enchantment. Enemy gains 8 arms enchantment. Your turn. Player status. Umbral Shield. Gain 35 armor at the
Again,
start of your
this
next
is gonna
turn.
be-
Convert one of your foe's blessings to an affliction. Defile.
I'm going to
Memorize.
predict
Action.
this is going to be a
Monster.
one-turn.
End turn.
This is going to be a one-turn kill.
Umbral Shield. You gain 35 armor stacks. You gain Umbral Shield enchantment. Longsword. +7. Neutral 1. Enemy takes 11 damage. You gain 9 armor stacks. Longsword. +8. Enemy takes 12 damage. You gain 10 armor stacks. Player status. Savagery. Surge of intellect. And you gain 1 focus stacks. Player energy. Int. 2 STR. 2. End turn. Dark blessing. Life 1. You spent 1 focus on psionic. 0 focus left. You gained 1 anger stacks. Enemy gained 3 charm stacks. Player status. Savagery. This combat. Gain STR. End turn. Player status. Savagery. This combat. End turn.
End turn.
Enemy turn. Enemy playing cards. Auto strike. Enemy gain 54 stagger stacks. You block the damage. You block the damage. You block the damage. You block the damage. Your turn. End turn.
Well, the stagger is going to hurt and kill it anyway. But I'm actually... Stand Your Ground is not a new card, but I'd actually like to get that enchanted next.
Outlaw Alchemy. Neutral 1. Conjure a random potion. Action. Monster. Tooltips.
Okay, Outlaw Alchemy is not a new card. Again, it's a monster card, and if you remember, there is a particular well-dressed bandit who wears a hat, and he has this skill, Outlaw Alchemy. I think he carries like 2 to 3 of these cards in his deck.
Profane Shell. Int STR1. Into the pot. +1. Int 1. If the foe's health is at 11% or fevered burning. Neutral 1. Gain 1 impervious, gain 3 burning. Action. Healing potion. 1. Player status. Healing potion. Fevered burning. Neutral 1. You gained 1 impervious stacks. You gain 3 burning stacks. Into the pot. Profane Shell. Bonus. Int STR. You gain 3 barrier stacks.
Again.
Outlaw Alchemy. Neutral 1. Conjure into the pot. +1. Int 1. If the foe's health is at 11%. Healing potion. Surge of strength. Gain STR. You heal 1 health. Love potion. 1 use. Inflict player status. Love potion. Healing potion. Into the pot. +1. End turn. Into the pot. Healing. Love potion. 1. Enemy gain 5 charm stacks. Added glimmer to enemy deck.
He gets a glimmer.
Player energy. Int. Show deck. Cards currently in deck 11. Player energy. Int. End turn.
No, a love potion is not a new card.
Player energy. End turn. Enemy turn. Victory. Next.
And a stagger kill.
Next.
So there you go. You can see how incredibly overpowered this deck is. This is Monster Mash. It's a weekly trial. You can tune in every Thursday of the week to do a new weekly trial for the most part. And if there's something different, swing by Dawncaster's Discord. The developer's name is Rick Vander Wal. He's a genius, savant, amazing person. And again, I've been playing these games for a few years now. They're really fun. And it's totally accessible for you. Check it out. Have a good time. Rate the game 5 stars in the App Store. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. It's always appreciated. We're trying to reach 400 subscribers. We have about 86 to go. And then from there, we have the final push toward 500 subscribers and membership. So you can make a difference by subscribing, even if it isn't your cup of tea. Just stay with me, and we'll have a lot of fun, I promise you. But that's going to wrap it up for us today on Dawncaster, as the heroes of Dawn are preparing their toothbrushes. What would you use for toothpaste in the old days? Probably like some plant material or alchemical kind of thing. How would you brush your teeth at a campfire in a medieval world? You probably would take a cloth and wipe your teeth with like a minty leaf off of a plant, or some serum from like the apothecary. Apothecaries would have what you need, and so that would be what you do. And of course, you would have flint and tinder to kind of make a fire, and then whatever monster parts you were able to grab, you would like eat those. You drink out of your water flask and speak with your friends, and maybe have a little flask with a little booze in it. Have some really wonderful time. Maybe your favorite friend, your favorite male or lady friend, have a little good time. Chit chat, do whatever, have some socialization, and just enjoy yourself. Have a good time. But that's going to wrap it up for us today, folks. Hope you are enjoying the new synthesis update or content creation patch, or whatever you want to call it. I just call it an expansion. And you can also donate to Dawncaster. Just check out the links on their front page, and you are all set and ready to go. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be back soon with more Dawncaster.